What weird, not traumatizing, things did your family do that you realized later in life wasn't normal or common? Go out to eat and order Italian food. I didn't know you could do that. Didn't taste any pasta outside my mom's house until I was like 15. Putting ketchup in chicken noodle soup. Everyone in my family did this and we still do, but 99% that hear about it think it's the weirdest thing ever. Was only allowed to take baths once a week and was not allowed to use the shower. We lived pretty frugally, so I think it may have had something to do with the perception that showering wasted more water. I didn't take an actual shower for the first time until I left home at 18. Edit. Just looked it up. Apparently the opposite is generally true, but we were only allowed to bathe once a week and no more, so I guess their idea was to get all the clean done thoroughly in one shot because there would be no more allowed. My father never took the same way home after we went places. It drove my mother insane when we would move to a new place. So he'd drive one route there and another back. What was his reasoning? Yes, that was his MO. It was an old military tactic he never let go of. Christmas Day drinking and then napping. When we turned 15, we got little liquor bottles in our stockings to join in. We got up really early, opened presents, got fairly drunk, and then slept most of the day. My parents are in their 80s and the tradition is still going strong. After my dad poured milk over his cereal, he would add a mound of peanut butter on the inside edge of the bowl so that he could eat a little of that with each scoop of cereal. I thought for years as a kid that everybody ate their cereal that way. No conversation is secret if you say it out loud rule. Me and my family all know at least 2 languages, French and English, with a few of us, me, my sister, my dad, knowing 3 or more. Having done a decent bit of traveling and plenty of translating when he did, my dad came up with a rule that no one was allowed to be left out by a language barrier. That meant if you said anything that all could hear in a language not everyone spoke, he would repeat it in a language that everyone spoke. So if we had a guest over who didn't speak French and I told my mom something in French that I didn't whisper, he would repeat it for the other to hear in English. His goal wasn't to embarrass us or try to out secrets, but was purely to not make language a barrier and keep everyone included, along with teaching my siblings and I that just because we're in a primarily English speaking country doesn't mean people won't understand us, and if we want something to remain private, whisper it or say it in private. That's actually really cool and super self-aware. It's so easy to sound like you're being bad-mouthed or just simply left out when people are just full on speaking another language around you. When we were very young, during thunderstorms my mom would make us all hot cocoa and we'd sit on the porch in blankets and watch it pass by. She wanted to make sure we weren't scared. My mom didn't do the cocoa bit, but we always sat on the screened-in porch during thunderstorms. It was like a family sport, and a lot of colorful words were said if something struck close. I still love a good storm. When I was a child, periodically when my grandpa was babysitting me and my siblings, we would play a game we called Vampire Death. He would turn off all of the lights in the house and light a bunch of candles. He'd also play this vinyl he had of spooky music. The objective was to get into the vampire's lair, the living room, and drive a stake, a paper towel roll, through Dracula's heart. My grandpa, before the other vampires, my siblings, killed you, tagged you. That is a smart man. Let the kids entertain each other while I have a relaxing snooze in the dark living room. Say random words weird on purpose, and now I am stuck doing it. Disgusting equals disgusting, uncomfortable equals uncomfortable, scissors equals scissors, just to name a few. Edit. Apparently several people do this too and that makes me happy. I don't have to feel weird anymore when this stuff slips out in mixed company, lol. They never ever leave the house besides my mom begrudgingly going to the store once a month. I just thought nobody liked to leave the house. Then I realized that other people led normal active lives. It wouldn't have been an issue if it didn't also mean that the kids couldn't go anywhere too, not even off the porch. On birthday cakes, mom would cover them with plastic wrap and then insert the candles through little slits. That way, we didn't get people's airborne breath all over the cake when they blew out the candles. Also, no liquid wax on the frosting. In hindsight, this was a wise practice, especially during a pandemic. My husband's family opens their stockings after presents on Christmas. I don't understand it. You build up to the bigger presents and have snacks while you open presents. Stockings would just be a letdown after the main gifts. Fathers are not supposed to whistle for their children. My father trained my siblings and I to respond to his whistle. If we heard that whistle, our ears would perk and our heads would snap up, and we go running to dad. We were treated like dogs. I still snap to attention when I hear a whistle and I always feel the need to move as soon as I hear it. My mom read in some article that moms bond closer with their kids if they bite their finger and toenails to trim them instead of using clippers like a normal human being. Edit. She did this roughly until I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. My dad sometimes picks up his guitar and makes tiny diss tracks about me and my siblings. But not too mean, just funny. Dude, you gotta record one of those. Think of all the sweet karma you can get. No one would understand it though, cause English ain't my main language. When I grew up I was always told that I had to eat the crust on my bread if I wanted to be able to whistle. My mom told me, my grandma told me, my cousins were told the same. When I got to college I made some joke with a new friend at lunch about eating their crust, and everyone at our table looked at me like I was insane. I've never felt so strongly like a cornerstone of reality had been pulled out from under me. They sent us outside with a pepper shaker and told us if you put pepper on a bird's tail, it couldn't fly and we would be able to catch it. Of course we could never get anywhere close to even get pepper on the tail. We spent time outside and it wasted pennies worth of pepper. It got the kids out of the house. The only reason it may have been traumatizing is we are uncertain if the free time was used for sexy time. That would be traumatizing. We didn't refrigerate leftovers. We just ate left out food hours later or the next day. It just stayed on the counter or stove overnight. I never got sick. I was so confused in 8th grade when I stayed the night at a friend's house and they wrapped everything up and stuck it in the fridge. I thought it was weird they wanted to make their food cold. I wasn't allowed to watch cartoons that featured people. Only cartoons with animals. I didn't really realize how much I missed until I mentioned to someone I had never seen the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Doug or Hey Arnold. Get totally wasted together as a family on New Year's Eve. My siblings and I actually looked forward to it every year and our parents would threaten to withhold it for bad behavior during the week that no presents for Christmas had expired. I had no idea until I was a teenager that it wasn't normal for parents to deliberately get their kids trashed on champagne one day a year simply for the lulz. At least not if they're perfectly normal and responsible adults every other day. LOL. How old were you when the festivities began? I guess that is one way to get your kids to sleep in on the first. Being able to talk about almost anything. I think some people might really find our regular dinner table conversations kinda weird, and I really thought that everybody just talked whatever they wanted with their parents and siblings. Ate ice cream out of coffee mugs. My dad grew up in a big family, so to minimize the time they had to spend washing dishes, they ate dessert right after dinner, but all the bowls would be with the other dirty dishes in the sink, so they would use coffee mugs instead. I think I was in high school before I ever thought to question it. We ate ice cream in coffee mugs BC. It was easier to hold since the bowl would be cold. It was also the perfect size for 2 scoops. This may be common for some households, plus imagine so semi-common for us, but not rest of the world. My mom plastic protect wrapped our living room furniture, mainly the couches. I hated summer. Your skin sticks to it painfully. I slid off it constantly. Made stupid squeaky ear piercing noises. My mom hates dust, so if she can plastic wrap something, she will. In context, one of our couches was a fabric couch and yes, it can accumulate a bit of dust and dander, but she even plastic wraps the wooden rattan couches in the sala or patio. We soon switched to a faux leather couch and she tried to plastic wrap that too till they pointed out, a pledge wipe can easily clean it off. I was close to HS when she spared this treatment on seats and couches, but even after her death some tables and dressers still have decorative plastic covers, even over the decorative dollies.